Join me on a journey to embrace your Kavela life. Hi friends, thanks so much for joining me. My name is Rachel. Welcome to your Vinyasa flow. So if you're ready, let's begin in a comfortable seated position. So I'm going to stack my hips over my heels, but whatever feels good for you. If you'd like to come into lotus or cross leg or extend the legs out, just feel comfortable wherever you are. Maybe close the eyes. Just going to slowly ease into our practice today. Roll the shoulders back. Start to elongate through the spine, crown to the sky. Coming to the present moment. Knowing you're right where you're meant to be in this moment. Begin to notice the breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the nose. Slowly start to build on that breath, lengthening, deepening the breath. And as you move through your practice, connecting the breath with the movements and always coming back to that breath. So we're going to start to bring some movement into the body, inhaling, floating the arms up to the sky. Exhale, float the arms down. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. This time bring the palms together. Exhale, floating the hands into the heart center. Maybe take a moment to set an intention, dedication for your practice if you'd like. And then inhale, float the arms up. And exhale, just let the arms, hands float down to the side. We're going to just start taking some gentle stretches in the neck. Start to gaze over that right shoulder. And then come back to center. And then over to the left. So just take it nice and easy. Don't force anything. Just going back to one side, then center, then left, center, right, and left. And then come back to center. We're going to tilt the head over to the right shoulder. So while you're here, start to think about lifting that left ear up rather than letting that right ear drop to the shoulder. Lift the left ear up. Start to slowly walk that left arm out. Begin to feel a nice stretch through the neck, into the shoulder, down the arm. Inhale, come back to center, and let's take it over to the opposite side. So settle in first, then lift that right ear up. Walk that right arm out. Breathing, and then come back to center, and then let's just tilt the head. Center, tilt the head. Center. Coming back here, let's bring the chin towards the chest, not forcing anything. And then come back to center, gaze up, and center. Looking down, and up. And then we're just going to take some gentle head rolls here. So tilting over to the right first. Maybe just go from side to side, being really gentle here. Feel the neck, feel that upper back stretch, the shoulders. And then take it maybe all the way around. In one direction for 4 times. And then go in the opposite direction for 4 times. And then when you're finished, just come back to center, gazing forward. And slowly draw the shoulders up to the ears. And rolling them back, opening the chest. Come forward, lift, draw the shoulders up to the ears, round, open the shoulders, puff the chest out. Inhale. Roll, inhale up. One more, and then taking it in the opposite direction. Inhale, coming forward, round the back. So we're starting to engage that back. We're just moving through the body, slowly warming up. Getting ready for our practice. 2 more. Breathing here. And then when you finish, just come back to a neutral position. Inhale. Exhale, bending the elbows. Bring the fingers together, interlace behind the head, and then start to press the elbows open, opening up the chest, the shoulders here, lengthening through that spine. Exhale, round. Start to engage that core, navel to spine. Let the elbows fall towards one another. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Holding here a little bit longer. Gently let the weight of the palms rest on the back of your head. And then inhale, release, float the arms up. Exhale, float down. And then taking the palms in front, we're going to find our tabletop position. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. And coming in for our cat-cows. Gazing up, let the belly drop, hips rise, start to tuck the toes. Exhale, round. Push the ground away. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then come back to that neutral spine. Tuck the toes, start to lift the knees off the ground. Hover here. Start to gaze towards the top of your mat, nice long neck. And then lifting the hips up, coming in for your downward facing dog. So pedal the heels, bend the knees, move the hips, let that head just hang. And take whatever movements you need here. And then from here, find your plank pose. So you might have to shift the feet, the hands. Just find that plank. Engaging the core. Slowly lower the knees and the chest and the chin, coming all the way down onto the belly. Make sure the legs are together, point the toes, bring those palms outside the chest, elbows lift to the sky. Start to peel the chest up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. This time, bend the knees, press through tabletop, take it all the way back to child's pose, stretching it out, hips to heels. Float the arms alongside the body, and then inhale, coming up onto the knees, opening up the arms, floating up. Really reach through the fingertips. Exhale, take it back down, tabletop. Let the hips drop all the way down, baby cobra. Exhale. Lift. So getting a little deeper into that lower back each time. Exhale. Press up to tabletop. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Lift those hips up. Paddle the heels, bend the knees, move the hips. Walk your dog here. And then find stillness. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Find your down dog. And then lifting the heels, let's walk towards the top of our mat. Coming to Tadasana, mountain pose, rolling that body nice and slow. Roll through the spine. Inhale, float the arms. Exhale, lift and lengthen, back bend. Hands to heart. So we're gonna flow through some sun salutations here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Step that right foot back. Left foot, high plank. Holding here. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga if you're ready. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll through the feet, downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Try to relax through the shoulders. Walk, step, or float the feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Rolling all the way up. Inhale, float. Exhale. Hands to heart. Inhale, just repeating that, flowing nice and slow and smooth. Make it feel good here. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, left leg. Right leg, find your plank, hold. Tighten that body, engage that core. Breathe. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Roll those shoulders back, lift the heart to the sky. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Walk, step, or float the feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Roll it all the way up. Inhale, float. Exhale. Hands to heart. Nice job. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Walk, step, or float the feet. Picking up some speed here. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Adding on, 3-legged dog. Right leg floats up. Square the hips and shoulders first before bending that right knee and stacking the hip. Right hip stacks over that left. Right foot hangs heavy. Maybe flex that right foot. And then knee to chest. Step it through. Low lunge. Ground that left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, sink the hips. Gaze up. Big arms, frame that foot. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. 3-legged dog. Hold here, or option to flow through your vinyasa, high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg, 3-legged dog. Square the hips, shoulders to the ground, then bend that knee, stacking it. Feel that left hip opening up. Left knee to chest, step through for low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arm. Exhale, sink the hips. Gaze up, relax through the shoulders. Open the arms, chest to sky. Frame that left foot. Tuck the toes. 3-legged dog. Down dog. Hold here if you'd like, or flow through high plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Each time in downward facing dog, try to find more space. Feel really good here. Feel like you can stay here all day. Walk, step, or float the feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Rolling all the way up. Inhale, float. Exhale. Hands to heart. Sweep the arms. Utkatasana, chair pose. Sink those hips. Gaze up. Relax the shoulders. Slight pelvic tilt here. Big arms, dive it down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, walk, step, or float. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the knees, stack the hip. Knee to chest, low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, sink the hips. Big arms. Frame that foot, tuck the toes, flow it out. Down dog, high plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Stay with your breath. Three-legged dog, left leg floats up. Bend the knee, stack the hip. Knee to chest. Step through, low lunge. Sweep the arms. Exhale, sink the hips. Breathe here. Nice. Open those arms, frame that foot. Left leg to the sky. Exhale, float it down, down dog. High plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Walk, step, or float the feet. Come back to chair pose. So we're getting the heart rate up a little bit here. Exhale, stay with your breath. Chair squats. Inhale up. Exhale. Take breaks whenever you need to, or just hold the pose if the repetition gets to be too much. Move slower, keep that alignment. Four more, working those legs. Building a little sweat here. And last one, let's hold here. Reach and extend. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, walk, step, or float. High plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. We're gonna add on here, right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, stack the hip. Working the core. We're gonna take the knee to the right elbow first. Coming back to a plank. Extend it up, cross it over. Three-legged dog, and then knee to chest. Hold here, hover. Three-legged dog. Let's repeat that. Right knee over to right elbow. Extend. Cross it up over the midline. Extend. Knee to chest. And then step through. Low lunge. Sweep the arms. Exhale, sink the hips. From here, option to take the hands behind the head, open up the elbows, lift the heart to the sky. Keep sinking those hips. And release. Open the arms. Flow it out. Right leg lifts. Float it down. Nice and slow and controlled. Flowing. High plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, down dog. Left leg to the sky. Working that core. Bend the knee, stack the hips first. Left knee over to left elbow. Three-legged dog. Cross it over. Extend. Knee to chest. Good job. You're strong. You got this. You can do it. Cross it over. Carving out that core, building strength, endurance, upper body strength. Step through. Low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, sink the hips. Hold here, breathe. Option to take the hands, interlace the fingers, open up those elbows. And release, reach to the sky. Open the arms, frame that foot. Tuck the toes. Left leg. Exhale, take it down. High plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. 2 breaths. Walk, step, or float the feet. Inhale, back to chair. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, taking a little breather here. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale, hold here. Cactus arms, bending the elbows, lift the chest, squeeze the lats together. Squeezing the shoulder blades, inhale up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Working those big muscles of the back. Exhale. Coming into a slight back bend here. Last one. And squeeze. Inhale up. Exhale, float the arms. Let's interlace the fingers behind the back, standing cobra. Let those arms slide down the back thighs. Feel a stretch in the throat. Externally rotating the shoulders out. And then exhale, bend the knees forward, fold. Float those arms up to the sky. Head down to the ground. Relax through the feet, relax the toes. Start to straighten the knees, folding a little deeper here. Release the fingers, let the arms float down to the ground. So fingertips touch the ground, walk the feet hips width apart. Staying in that forward fold. Start to shift the weight towards the toes, taking hands to opposite elbows here, coming into ragdoll. So you can just stay still or sway from side to side. Wherever you are, just breathe. And then let's release those fingertips. Step that right leg back, left leg coming into plank. And let's make our way back to our down dog. However you want to get there, maybe throw in a couple of chaturanga push-ups for fun. You can do it. You're strong. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a nice flow here. Right leg up to the sky. Three-legged dog. Bend the knees, stack the hip. Knee to chest, step through. For a low lunge first, and then make your way up to high lunge. So from here, squeeze those lats for 4. Just upper body here. Working that balance. Soften both knees. And then if you'd like, start to work the legs. Bending the knees, left knee drops down. 2, 3, 4. Hold here, opening up for warrior 2. Open the chest. Shake out those arms. Find your warrior 2. Make sure that right knee is stacked over the right ankle. Flatten out the palms. Flip that right palm up. Inhale, peaceful. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, peaceful. Exhale. Inhale, really lift the body up. Lift that torso up to the sky. Exhale. From here, take it down for extended angle pose. Elbow to knee. Float that left arm over. Gaze to the left palm. Sweep that left arm around. Inhale, float right back into peaceful. Exhale, warrior 2. Trikonasana, straighten that right knee. Maybe walk that left foot in slightly. Get your center here. And then reach towards the top of your mat. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Stacking the shoulders, the hips. So imagine there's a wall behind you and in front of you, flattening out your body. So really start to open the chest to the sky. Feel this spinal twist. Inhale, float it up, straight leg, peaceful. Wrap that left arm around. Exhale, warrior 2. From here, come back into extended angle. So elbow to knee, or maybe go deeper this time. Take the palm down to the ground. Float that left arm forward. Inhale, take it up. We're going to come into our half moon. So half moon, start to walk that left foot in. We're going to shift the weight into the right foot. Walk that right hand out. Take it slow, no rush. Flexing that left foot. Nice. Exhale, come to supported warrior 3. Left arm floats. Square those hips, coming to the top of your mat. Exhale, take it down to low lunge. Float it down. So your left leg is extended back. And let's flow it out. Right leg extends up, three-legged dog. Take your vinyasa. Maybe chaturanga push-ups for fun. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Left leg, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the hip. Really opening up that hip. Knee to chest. Step through. Low lunge first. And then make your way to high lunge. So take a minute here to get centered, find your balance. If you fall out, just relax. You got this. Maybe you just stay right here. That's totally fine. You're working the entire body. If you want to start to bring some movement into the arms, squeeze the lats for 4, 2, 3, 4. Start to bring in the legs if it feels good for you. 2, squeeze, and 4, hold here, last 1. Opening up for warrior 2. So find your warrior 2. Make any adjustments you need here. Nice wide stance. Relax through the shoulders. Push them away from the ears. Relax through the palms. Building that arm strength. Flip the left palm. Inhale, peaceful your warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, peaceful. Exhale. Inhale, peaceful. Exhale, warrior 2. From here, extend an angle, elbow to knee. Let those hips drop, float that right arm overhead. Gaze up. Sweep that right arm around, just make a big circle and just float right back into peaceful. Exhale, warrior 2. Trikonasana. Walk that right foot in, straighten the left knee. Open the chest. Reach towards the top of your mat. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Float that right arm up. Stacking the hips and shoulders. Let those hips really open up. Inhale, float straight leg, peaceful. Wrap that right arm around. Lift your heart to the sky. And slowly exhale, warrior 2. Extend your angle, maybe take it a little bit deeper. Left palm inside that left foot. float that right arm. Start to come into your half moon, walking that right foot in. Left palm out. Take your time, flex that right foot. Stack the hips, shoulders, open to the side wall. Maybe shift the gaze. Exhale, supported warrior three. When you're ready, nice balancing, nice control. And then bend that left knee, float right into your low lunge. Breathe and flow it out. However you'd like, three-legged dog, down dog, high plank, chaturanga push-ups, or no push-ups, that's fine too. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Let's walk towards the top of our mat. Let's take a little breather from the upper body here. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Rolling all the way up. Inhale, float those arms. Exhale, take those fingers interlace behind the back of the head. Open the elbows, lift your heart to the sky. And release, extend the arms. Exhale, standing cobra. Just taking a little breather here. Exhale, forward fold. Let those arms float up. Let the head drop. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and the neck. Keep reaching for the sky. Exhale, release, float the arms down to the ground. Step that right leg, left leg. Find your downward facing dog. Let's finish strong, right leg floats. 3-legged dog, bend the knees, stack the hip. Flip your dog here or hold, stacking those hips. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, take it back, 3-legged dog. Knee to chest for 3. Extend. Knee to chest. Good job. Step through. Low lunge. From here, pivot that left foot, warrior 1. Relax the shoulders. Exhale, warrior 2. Just opening up to the side of your mat. Inhale, peaceful your warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Cartwheel the arms, low lunge twist, opening up. Float that right arm up. Come back to center. So we're just gonna flow through that. Come back, 3-legged dog, maybe 3-legged chaturanga. Push-ups here. So take this wherever you feel good. If you're tired, skip the power moves, maybe hang out in your down dog. Exhale. If you're feeling energized, go for those power big poses. Left leg to the sky. Bend the knees, stack the hip. Hang out here, opening up that hip, or flip your dog. Inhale. Press the hips to the sky. Energizing pose, energizing you for your day. Exhale, take it back, three-legged dog. 3 knees to chest. Or just hold your three-legged dog. Step through to low lunge first. Pivot the right foot, warrior one. Inhale, float up. Opening up, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful, your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Cartwheel the arms. Low lunge twist. Left arm floats. Take it back to center, low lunge. Float it out. Left leg to the sky. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Great job. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Let it go. Let's come all the way down, pass through plank, and then all the way down onto the belly. So from here, let's take the arms and just take a little breather. Either ground the forehead or turn the head to one side, grounding that left or right ear. Let those shoulders just fall to the mat. Feel that nice neck stretch. And then come back through center, and if your head was turned, just turn it to the opposite side. Let the shoulders fall, let the whole body just relax and surrender into the earth here. And then take it back to center. So from here, we're going to come into locust pose. So legs can be hips width apart or together, whatever's comfortable for you. So we're going to just start slow and build into it. So on your next inhale, Let's just slowly start to peel the chest up. Lifting the chest. Keep the gaze straight ahead or to the top of your mat. Feeling that upper back, lower back, and the glutes engaged here. And then exhale, come down, turn the head, rest. Come back to center. And so this time, maybe take the arms out to the sides, or you can take the hands behind the head, interlacing those fingers. So whatever feels good for you, or alongside the body, palms facing up. Start to peel that chest up. So coming up maybe a little bit higher. And exhale, come back down. Breathe. And then coming back to center, we're going to start to engage the lower body with the upper body. So lifting the legs at the same time. On your next inhale, taking the arms wherever feels comfortable for you. You can even interlace the fingers, taking that reverse volleyball grip behind you. Start to lift the legs up. Lift up off the thighs, lift the chest. Draw the shoulders away. Nice. Lift a little higher. And when you're ready, exhale, release, let it go. Turn the head. And then from here, come back to center. Bending the knees this time. If you can, take the palms to the outside of the tops of the feet. And then just coming into that position again, lifting the chest, the legs, point the toes, kick the feet into the palms. Nice, beautiful. Balancing on the belly button, kick higher. And when you're ready, slowly release. Turn the head, release the feet, the legs. Just let it go. Slowly bring the head to center, take the palms outside the chest and just push back through tabletop. All the way down, nice and slow into your extended child's pose. Stretch out that lower back. Forehead grounds to the earth. Just come back to the breath. And float the arms alongside the body, coming into child's pose. Let the spine round, shoulders fall forward. Let those hips drop closer to the heels. And then slowly come up to seated, floating up. Extend the legs out, bend the knees, reach through the arms, palms to the sky. Exhale, slowly rolling all the way down onto the back. So once you get down there, grounding the shoulders, the hips, bring the knees, the feet, windshield wiper the knees, just coming into a gentle twist here. So let the knees drop over to the right and back, center over to the left. And just swaying. Breathe. And then let's take it over to the right. Close the eyes. Come back through center and then just switch sides. Knees come over to the left, gaze over to the right. Coming back through center. Extend both legs up to the sky. Relax through the neck. Maybe take the arms alongside the body. Bend the knee. Draw the knee into the chest, that right knee. float the left leg down. And then taking that right knee across the midline of the body, just let it come over to that left side. Right arm out and T, gazing over to that right palm. Try to ground that right shoulder here. And take it back to center. And just switch legs. Left knee comes in. Hug it in towards the chest first. Right leg is extended. Relax through the neck. And then cross that left knee over towards the right side. Taking that twist, left arm extends. Gazing over to the left. And then come back through center. Take both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug for a great practice. And taking our happy baby, arms inside the thighs, peace sign, fingers around the big toes. Bend the knees, flex the soles of the feet to the sky. Opening up those hips. Maybe rock from side to side, massaging that lower back. Or extend through the knees, getting that nice stretch in the legs. And doing whatever feels good for you. Make sure not to kink the neck here. Stay nice and long. Relax the upper body. And then bending the knees, bringing the soles of the feet together. Release that yogi toe grip. Let those knees drop. Coming into butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe take those hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers, letting the elbows drop to the ground. Chest is open, shoulders are open, the upper back is open, hips are open. Heart is open. Just breathing here. Coming back to the present moment. Feel free to stay here or go right into Shavasana, our final pose. So wherever you're going, just make sure you're nice and open here. Feel free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you'd like, gaining all the wonderful benefits it provides. If you'd like to join me in closing out your practice, start to bring some movement into the fingers, the toes, the hands, the feet. Inhale the arms up overhead. Bend the knees. And when you're ready, make your way on to your right side, coming into a fetal position, just taking some deep breaths there. Slowly, when you're ready, just make your way back to a comfortable seated position. Maybe keep the eyes closed, sitting up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders back. Closing out our practice with 3 cleansing breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will practice again with me really soon. The more consistent you are, the stronger your practice will get. May there always be peace in your heart, peace in your words, and peace in your mind. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed your journey today. If you would like to see new classes, please remember to subscribe, like, visit our website at kavelalife.com, become a member on our Patreon account. By becoming a member, it allows us to create new classes. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Kavela Life. Thank you so much. Namaste.